I feel the Spirit moving in me. I feel the Spirit moving in me.
Once upon a time, a distraught man approached a Zen master. And he said, "Please, master, I feel lost. I feel desperate. I don't know who I am. Please show me my true self." But the teacher just looked away without responding. And the man began to plead and to beg, and still the master gave no response and no reply. Finally, the man gave up in frustration. He turned around and he started to leave. And at that moment, the master said, "Yes, come, turn around." He called the man by his name. And he said, "There it is. There it is. You are a quitter. You run away when you don't instantly get what you want. You are not living as your authentic self." That Zen master was an uncomfortable grain of sand in this man's experience that was there to show this man his imperfections so that he could claim his highest human self. This talk is titled "The Pearl of Great Value." The pearl of great value is our ability to live our authentic self. It seems like we have two selves. You ever notice? We have our spiritual self, and then we have our physical self. And we know and we believe that our spiritual self is perfect, right? Right? We're taught that. We know that's true. How about the physical self? See, that's what we think, is that the physical self is not perfect. And and that we're limited by our humanity. But have you ever found yourself saying something that was absolutely spectacular and amazing and focused and that summed up the situation, connected you with the essence of who you are and who other people are at the same time? Yeah. And then also, have you ever said some things that you thought later, "Oh my God, what did I say?" Right? Those words came out of my mouth, right? and you go around kicking yourself for a week because you got angry at somebody, or you spoke out, or you were frustrated, and you acted out of that energy that sometimes rises up in us, right? Most of us live in both worlds, where we can be connected and spiritual sometimes, and we can also be totally in our humanness, yeah? And just living in the gutter, sort of, in consciousness, right? Nobody will admit to that one. Okay, well, that's all right. So a lot of us feel like, you know what? I'm going to be totally spiritual. Right? When I can train my human self to be spiritual. And be like the Buddha or like Gandhi, right? I'll be perfect when I am totally present in every moment. Right? Ever think that? Because we think that we look forward to the day when we can say, "I have arrived. I am there." Ever felt that way? I know what happens for me often is that I have that moment where I think, "Whoa, man, am I good?" Right? My human self is so good. Look at how I responded to that situation that was so challenging. And then what happens in the next moment? It's like that my evil twin shows up and says things that, for God's sakes, I can't believe I said that, right? No, that's probably just me, right? I have this belief that that the human pain that we experience is because we have this belief that our human self isn't good enough. And that if we could just get rid of all the human pain that we have, if we could just let go of all that human stuff and be present in the moment. So today, I'm going to invite you to give me your pain. And just imagine that you can toss it up here, lay it up here. I'm not going to put it on, right? I'm not going to take it home with me, right? But I just want you to kind of imagine that you can set your stuff up here on the platform and just let it go. Woo, just let it go. All that stuff, all the stuff that you do wrong, all the stuff that you don't like about yourself, all of the anger that you have, all the hurt you have, and just lay it up here. Just imagine that you can do that. I think as a human race, we carry around so much of this perceived stuff that it makes us miserable. We think that because we think we're not enough. And sometimes I've had this thought, have you? How can I feel so broken and yet be created in the image and likeness of God? It's kind of a conflict that we seem to have, doesn't it? We know that we're perfect and that we are perfect expressions of God, but still we feel so broken sometimes. And we can actually get kind of angry with ourselves, right? Dang, I can't believe you did that, Blaine, right? You wouldn't say that probably. Well, you might say to me if I did something that you didn't like. But so that's what we're looking at today is how can we get past this idea that we have to be angry with ourselves? Would you be willing to let go of your pain today? Yeah? Some people say, a couple of people said, oh, definitely, yes, I would. And then a couple of other people were like, well, maybe. And then somebody else says, well, I don't know if I'm really willing to let go of my pain. We identify with our pain, don't we? Yeah. I read in psychology that feeling pain helps us to feel alive. I think I'd rather feel alive, being spiritually alive, than feeling my pain to recognize my aliveness. So we want to release that place within us today where we feel even slightly not enough. Wouldn't that be great? Because I believe it's that feeling of not enough that causes us pain. So we're going to look at releasing that today. And just being okay with who we are. Now I realize, that some of you are more evolved than me. And that you are so close to knocking on that perfect door that you're perfect. Your body's perfect. Your mind is perfect. Your finances are perfect. You're just right on the edge of being there, right? And then what happens? You feel that way one day, and then what happens? You fall down, right? You're walking on this high thing, and then all of a sudden you walk out the door, bam, something hits you, and you're down in the dumps again, right? And that all stems from the fact that we have this little belief that we're not good enough. If we can get to that point where we can release that, then we're not going to have this huge transformation or transition when life catches us off guard. The truth is, you are perfect just the way you are. Are you willing to see yourself that way? To see yourself that perfect? In spite of the difficulties, in spite of the things, the inadequacies that you might believe that you have. Are you willing to let that go and just know that you are perfect the way you are? Well, here's an affirmation. Let's say this together. I'll say it first and invite you to say it with me. I am one with Spirit, an authentic expression of my true divinity. And say it with that kind of a pace where you can feel it and know it's true as you say it. Willing to do that? Yes. It's 4 of you. Okay. Well, the rest of you just hang in there. All right, here we go. So let's say it together. Together. I am one with Spirit, an authentic expression of my true divinity. And let that sink in. That's who you are. Feel it. Can you feel that? Just breathe into that. That's the truth. That's what Jesus' message was. That's what the Buddha's message was. Breathe into that. I am one with Spirit, an authentic expression of my true divinity. The parable of the pearl informs us that we are spiritual beings having a spiritual experience. The parable of the pearl informs us that we are also human beings having a human experience. Now, the place where those two ideas that seem to be opposite sometimes, that place where they intersect is the pearl of great value. And that's what we're going to talk about today. The scripture says, from Matthew chapter 13, verses 45 and 46, again, this is Jesus talking, the kingdom of heaven is like a merchant in search of fine pearls, who in finding the one pearl of great value went and sold all that he had to buy it. That pearl of great value is our imperfections. We become aware spiritually when we buy our own imperfections. When we become spiritually aware, when we own all that we are. That's the pearl of great value. To own who you are. All of you. Your perfections and your imperfections. You know, we know that we are created in the likeness of God, in the image of God. Have you ever really bought yourself? Have you ever really owned yourself? Have you ever really believed that you are perfect? Even in your imperfections, you're perfect. So today, I'd like you to, as I talk, to look at what is it that keeps you from owning yourself, both your strengths and your weaknesses, your good and your bad, your light and your dark. Because the truth is, as we continue to mature spiritually, there's a moment when we get to decide if we're going to really own ourselves and not see ourselves as two different aspects of who we are. You know, some might say, you know, I really don't want to own myself because I'm not quite perfect yet. But the truth is, you are perfect. Even in your imperfections, you are perfect. You know, some people might say, well, you know, I'm not perfect because my parents raised me this way, or I was educated this way, or I was born with these attributes, or you know, society doesn't see me this way. And so we're looking past all of that today to realize that you are perfect just as you are. Now, does anybody have anything they want to argue with me about? Huh? Maybe, well, you know, you might want to say, well, if this was different, I'd be different. Or if I was financially sound, I'd be different. Or if I lost 10, 20, or 30 pounds, then I'd be perfect. Right? Then I'd be enough. But what would happen today if you claim yourself, your wholeness, just as you are? Do you think it would hurt you or help you? It's going to hurt. It's going to help you, right? Because that way we're not fighting with ourselves. We're open and we just realize, wow, my human self kind of screwed up. But that's okay. Because there's something that I get to learn in that. I am one. I am one with Spirit, an authentic expression of my true self. Let's say that together. I am one with Spirit, an authentic expression of my true divinity. You are a spiritual being, having a spiritual experience. And you're also a human being, having a human experience. The place where those two ideas meet is the pearl of great price. You know how a pearl's created? Right? Something comes into an oyster, often a piece of sand, and is the oyster happy about it? We don't really know, but we assume it hates it. I don't know how intelligent an oyster is, or how spiritually involved oysters are. So I'm going to make some assumptions about that. And if anyone was an oyster in a previous life, please forgive me. I'm just doing the best I can in this human self that I've got. So a grain of sand comes into the oyster, and the oyster resists it, right? It pushes it away. It tries to push it out, but it can't. So is there an issue or a problem, a challenge in your life that you have resisted? Yeah, probably. Did I hear somebody say many? Yeah, I know we all have at least one, right? As long as the oyster is alive, it keeps trying to coat that grain of sand. And as it does that, it creates a pearl. It creates a beautiful pearl that we love as jewelry. And it's more beautiful than words. What I'd like you to understand and to remember is that it was no mistake that Jesus used a pearl in this example. There's the place where you've been, the place where we are most resistant to ourself is the place of beauty within us. That is the pearl of great price. Whatever the challenges that you have, and I think that all of us have some kind of challenges, and being human, we have challenges that tend to repeat themselves. Ever notice? Right? And so, the truth of it is then, it is enlightenment, awareness comes when we begin to understand those times when we're challenged. And we can go, oh, here it is again. Ever notice that? Oh, dang, that same person showed up. That same thing showed up in somebody else that was somebody else before with a situation that's causing me this challenge, right? Or this situation. Do you ever notice? Does it seem that way for you, that things happen over and over again and we keep getting challenged by the same things all the time? And we want to be like that oyster and initially push it out, right? Or build something around it so we don't see it. So what if we just loved it? Can you see how that would change our approach to that challenging situation the next time it happens? Instead of going, damn, get away, right? If we just went, oh, wow, this is beautiful. Another opportunity for me to grow. The challenge is it's sort of an angel in our life offering us the opportunity for spiritual expansion. I claim my pearl of great value. Are you ready to claim your pearl of great value? To claim whatever that challenge is for you, to claim it as great value. If so, say it with me. If you're not sure, maybe just think it. If you're willing to go for it, then let's claim it. Together, I claim my pearl of great value. Breathe into that. Can you feel the difference? Wow. This is where healing comes. This is where awareness comes. This is where we find that connection with our authentic self. You know, the pearl is like the master in the first story who calls us back to remember the truth of who we are, to help us to live our authentic self. You know, very few people buy their own pearl. Very few people are willing to really look at these challenging situations that we face and to realize, wow, okay, this is the pearl of great price. This brings me a tremendous message. And that's why I love this movement of unity and new thought that we're in, because we take a different perspective on things. We don't try and push away the things that hurt, but rather to open ourselves to them and say, what is it that I can learn from this? Because we are perfect. Even in our imperfection, we are perfect. The kingdom of heaven is like a person in search of his pearl, who finds it and sells everything in life so he can own it. It's like, I'm giving up everything. I'm going to focus my attention on this pearl, on this challenge, and absorb it, let it in, and see what the gift of it is. And in buying his pearl, his soul, your soul, our souls are liberated. This is our place of transformation. The pearls probably aren't going to go, the grains of sand, the pearls aren't going to go away. But what we can do is learn to live with them and to have peace with who we are and not be at odds with it. How many people have at least one thing in their life that they've been at odds with? All of us, right? I kind of think that's, being a human being guarantees we're going to have grains of sand. That's just the way it is. It is the path of the human being. There's a lot of sand on that path. Have you noticed? Right? And so we get to absorb it, we get to bring it in, we get to pay attention to it. So I want to invite you again to let go of your pain today. I want you to give up every ounce of your pain. I want you to let go of that belief that you're not good enough. I want you to let go of your story. I want you to let go of your drama. I want you to let go of all the ramifications and the pain that life's grains of sand have caused for you. Because you literally don't have to carry that pain one more day. You can recognize that is a grain of sand. And life, this path of life that we're on, invites us to have many grains of sand. The kingdom of heaven is upon you. It's right here. It is the thing that you've been working on and growing at your entire life. It's right here. And the moment that you own your grain of sand, your life is going to change. I invite you to close your eyes and bring your awareness and your attention to your breath. Breathing in, breathing out. relaxing, letting go. Feeling the peace in this moment. I invite you to open your heart, open your mind, open your soul to your own pearl. The pearl of great price. Even to realize that this grain of sand that became the pearl for you brought with it challenges, perhaps heartache, perhaps difficulty. Imagine that you can hold this pearl, this pain, whatever it has been for you, and to hold it in a different way than perhaps ever before, to hold it with love. It's not bad. It's just a grain of sand that got into your human shoes, has caused you some irritation on this journey of life. And it's there to remind you to be present, to be loving, to love yourself. And imagine that you can take the grains of sand, the challenges, the issues, maybe there's one, maybe there's two, maybe there's 5. And imagine that you can place them on this platform in front of you today. And just let them go. Let that, whatever that's been, the pain, the hurt, and just let it go. And know that these were messengers that came to you to remind you of who you are. To remind you that you are enough, that you are perfect, even in your imperfections. And say to yourself, I love you. I accept all of me. I love all of me. All of me is perfect. I am a perfect expression of God, of spirit, of light, of love. I am perfect. And I celebrate the pearls in my world. I love them. And I find peace around them. Breathing in and breathing out. Let us go to that soft and centered place within us. and just relax into a few moments of meditation in the silence. And now I invite you to begin to bring your awareness back to this moment. Breathing in, breathing out. Perhaps seeing the light of day slightly through your eyelids. Hearing the birds, the music. And I invite you to open your eyes and let's be together in this moment. So I invite you now to prepare your love offerings. And for you also watching us on Facebook Live this morning, it'd be wonderful if you were so motivated to send us a gift or go to our webpage, unityonmaui.org, and click on our donate button. All of your gifts give us the energy and the fluidity to continue to do what we do. And I know as you give to us, it connects you with our message and brings you into the fold, into the consciousness of the work that we are doing. So thank you all for your donations today. And you can also mail them in if you're watching to Unity on Maui at 483 South High Street in Wailuku. So thank you for that. And as we hold our gifts, I invite you to think about what is your pearl? What is the pearl that you've had resistance towards maybe all your life? Maybe it's a recent thing. And to hold that today as the gift that you're receiving through our message, and invite you to give in the awareness of a new way of being that you will be as a result of what we talked about today. So as you hold your gift, let's affirm and pray together our prayer and our affirmation for prosperity, which begins, through a grateful giving heart, my mind and life overflow with the abundance of God's all-providing, infinite supply. Thank you. Namaste. Robin says, boy, that was the shortest song I ever played. Thank you, loving Spirit, for your gifts, for these gifts that have come to us in love. We hold them, we give thanks for them. And we know that they're moving through this ministry, through the heart of love that is in our message, and moving out across Maui and into the world. And let's behold, let's see a world that's filled with love, with light, and with peace. And so it is. Thank you. Oh, and it reminds me, I gave Robin a ride here this morning, but I can't give her a ride home because I'm sticking around doing some things here. And she lives in, and besides her behavior, oh, for gosh sakes. You know, she was singing and all kinds of great things. I got entertained all the way here, believe me. And so that same entertainment is available for someone who can give her a ride home. Now, Joy says you will. Joy lives good. Joy lives, will give you a nice ride home. So you're taken care of.
I do have equipment, so.
Yeah. And if it doesn't fit, we'll sell it. You know?
This is such a supportive church.
So that's great. Thank you. Thank you, Joy.
Thank you.
All right. Oh, today's flowers are offered by Bob Offerman in celebration of his mother's 101st birthday. So when exactly is her birthday? Tomorrow. And your mom still drives?
No. She actually passed away a year ago.
Oh, I knew that. Okay, she passed away a year ago, but we're...
She drove till she was 99.
Oh, I knew there was a story that she drove until she was 99. Oh, my gosh. You got longevity in your family. We're celebrating that, yes. And Bob, thank you for showing up early today. And thank you, Emily, and thank you, Al, and everybody that works to put our services together on Sunday morning. Thank you all. And Robin, yes. Oh, did we thank Robin? You know, she... a minister's job is to comfort the afflicted and afflict the comforted. So that's what I continue to do. Yeah, you're welcome. So if you'd like to donate flowers on Sunday morning or offer them to us, you get to bring them and you get to take them home with you. And you can sign up to do that. There's a sign-up sheet in the back where you can pick a date and write who you are and how you'd like the flowers to be mentioned or dedicated on Sunday morning. That's a lot of fun. So my question for you is, are you in the arena or are you watching from the stands? Let's see, I had something I wrote about it. I know it's here somewhere. Here we go. For many people, the moment they get knocked down, they say, forget it. When some of us, when we get hurt, we say, you know what? I'm never going back in the arena again. I'm going to get hurt, and I give up. They want to feel safe. They want to live small. And so what I'm going to remind us all of next week in this talk is how we can live big, how we can live big and going all out. And this talk is based on Brene Brown's book, Rising, to do a 4-week series on this book. You know, Jesus said, in this world there is tribulation, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world. You know, life is full of ups and downs. That's kind of the human with the challenges that we have, or to have spiritual principles that we can hold on to and abide by when we're challenged in life. So Brene Brown says we can choose comfort, but we can't choose both. So join us next week, and we will explore this very amazing book. Wow, I talked to Kurt yesterday. Actually, I didn't talk to him. He still can't talk, and certainly he can't sing, but he plans on being back. Where is he in Lahaina? Sargent's in Lahaina in June. And he asked, I don't know what I can do for Unity because I can't sing. And I said, well, we'll talk about it. I've from them forward. So his fundraiser is still going. His GoFundMe, and there are flyers in the back. If you take a picture of it, it'll follow that QR code. Is that what it's called? And you can go to the website where you can donate to him. And you can also donate to Joy. His daughter Joy lost her husband a month and a half or so ago, had a sudden, and so they're asking for support as well. And I understand that Joy is also moving back to Maui. And so I know that will impact her, because I bet we can twist her arm and get her to sing some for us when she comes back. Come on up here and do it. I'm putting him on the spot. I didn't ask him ahead of time about this, but no one knows better what he's doing than him, right?
Yes. Yeah, the only kind of change that I wanted to make was I got a few comments that get lost, seem to be a little negative.
Oh.
So I decided I wanted to rename it. On this, I decided I wanted to rename it Escape Club, because then we can escape from all our troubles and tribulations into the spirit of unity instead of getting lost, because people are getting confused about the get lost thing. You're going to go hiking and get lost? So just to clarify, anything that they like to do, like I know the ladies are going to do hula teaching night at one point, which should really be cool. That we'll come here and they'll teach us some hula moves, and anything like that people can come up with. My name and numbers on the flyer, and yeah, everybody's welcome. And of course, friends and family and even your enemies are welcome. Yeah. So thank you so much for participating and coming. And we've already had some really fun activities that people have joined in and met other friends, and it's really great. So just look forward to the whole thing moving forward. And thank you guys for the opportunity to present our new Escape Club. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Did anybody actually get lost?
Well, we tried.
I guess that's why you bring your enemies, right? No. We just talked about the pearl of great prize, right? Of great value. So we don't want to get rid of them. We want to hold them and love them.
That's your pearl, isn't it?
That's your pearl, right? All right. Well, if you were touched by my talk today, there is a... Okay, so we can still use some drivers. The more we have, the easier it is on everybody. And so if you're interested in being a van driver, talk to Kayla about that. And there is our new van. Woo! All right. So I think at this point, it's time to bring it all to a close, unless you want to do it all over again. No, not so much. All right. Well, why don't we stand and we'll pray the prayer for protection, and then we'll sing together the peace song. So let's take a breath together and breathe in, and let's begin. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. God bless you, friends. Thank you for being here today. Aloha.
Where I